Now, our fifth survival technique is once we have the data being empowering to us, once the data means something, we want to maximize the space that we have. Again, our dashboard size is so small that we want to make sure we take advantage of what little space we have. So ask yourself how much detail is absolutely essential in the dashboard. Are you showing too much? Are you showing too little? What is the primary focus of the dashboard? And can multiple items be served with one label or menu? Basically, maybe you have two graphs that are closely related. Do you need to see both at the same time, or is it more valuable to maybe put them within a panel stack where you can toggle back and forth? To get started, to maximize space, I think the easiest thing to do is make sure that the font sizes are at an appropriate size where they're legible, but they don't take up so much real estate. I think these titles, the KPIs, category revenue this year versus last year, these titles are I wouldn't say too big, but they're bigger than they need to be. The whole point is to have the font legible while being a small size. So typically what we found is that your typical size might be 8 to 11 points. Now that doesn't seem like a lot of leeway, but there is a big difference between an 8-point font that you're using in a grid versus an 11-point font that's bolded, maybe a different color that you're using as a title. Just by using things like white space and contrast, you create a lot more of a difference in look than you think you do in just three font sizes. Also, we want to maximize space in that the top left of the screen is probably the most important part of the screen. It's where the user will subconsciously look first. Think about when you're viewing a website or anything else in that matter on a computer especially. You're going to gravitate to the top and you're going to gravitate to that left corner because that's where it all begins. So your human eye movement goes left to right, top to bottom. It makes logical sense that the most important information should be in that spot. So what we're going to do is we're going to do exactly that. We're just going to pump down the font sizes of the title down just a little bit to about 11 points. Keep it bold. Keep it in an obvious way that it's still the title. And what we'll do is we'll quickly just move up. Resize the logo, and we'll resize the actual title of the dashboard, and we'll move it to the bottom right of the screen. Sometimes you have to really convince the customer that this is the right move. They might not agree with you, but explain them in such a way where the data is the most important part of the dashboard. You know, the title of the dashboard and the company logo aren't the most important, and chances are the end user actually already knows whose dashboard it is and what the dashboard is, because they probably clicked on it or they opened an attachment, so they should already know. So there's no point in showing things that the user already knows. The whole point is showing them things they need to know, need to learn. So again, let's review really quickly here. Take time to review and tighten every element. You have such limited space, such limited pixels, you don't want to waste it on things that don't add any value. Also, a nice little trick is truncating figures to the shortest suitable format. Don't use a thousandths place when a tenth place will do. Also, maybe all your figures on your dashboards are in millions. You know, maybe you just need to show one figure or a figure in a decimal place, and then denote as such throughout the dashboard that everything is in millions. This will save you a lot of horizontal space. It'll look a lot better if you're not shrinking everything to the smallest. Font sizes, again, 8 to 11 points. You kind of have to play with your customers at that. Some customers are going to have old eyes and they're going to need larger than 11. But typically, we found out that's a good range. The whole point is to be smallest while maintaining legibility. And like I talked about with the logo and the dashboard title, you don't want to minimize it, or if the company's cool enough and they understand exactly what you're doing, you can eliminate it altogether. But I think minimizing is probably good enough. Again, the user already knows what the company the dashboard is for, and they already know what the dashboard is.